I've been cooking this one up for weeks. I have migraine.
What an opener!
Well, no, and welcome everybody back to another episode of... I can't get my headphones working.
Welcome
Thanks,
back to
Sony.
another episode of Give Me Your AirPods.
Give me your AirPods, everybody. Welcome back to Bikini Inquirer. My name is Chester Liddon, and we are back with another episode, another discussion. Nickelodeon won't just shut the hell up and stop releasing news. We have a checklist, guys. We have things to go through for this podcast. We have a list that we have not touched once, I think, since episode 2.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
We are crying out here. We are sobbing and crying out here. We haven't been able to talk about Jimmy Neutron in a month. We were supposed to talk about Danny Phantom. I don't even know who that is. SMX, Nickelodeon won't shut the hell up.
We need to talk about All Grown Up. We need to talk about... We were gonna... What all? We have so many ideas, you guys. So many ideas. Best podcast.
We're going to be talking about Best Buy's relationship with Nickelodeon. We're going to be interviewing Simmer Zagami, asking them why they destroyed Nickelodeon. I'm starting to turn Simmer into just like a bit of an arch nemesis.
I was about to say
she's the villain.
I think she's the villain of the story.
I think she was just a boomer who didn't understand video games or cartoons.
As well, isn't that all corporate employee, like all CEOs of corporations?
Indeed. Now, my name is Chester Liddon. I am one of the inquirers here at Bikini Bottom Inquirer. And I'm joined by Mr. Has-Been
Titus,
Normal.
who needs normal simp.
Simp.
Simps in my name.
Yeah, I'm a simp. Snake or a monkey. No, it's fine. I've been seeing I've been following a few channels that I watch that do like you laugh you lose type stuff. I've been watching them simply to find memes to put in my own videos. So I'm getting more verbally understanding of memes again, since no longer they're being a meme review for me. That was my main way of keeping up with memes in this world, was just PewDiePie telling me about them.
I'm still stuck on Do You Know D-Way and the moth memes where you
Lamp.
smacking lamps and
You can tell I think the stage where some people just froze in time with internet when you like jump on a Minecraft server with them. What's the stuff they just start saying just to fill air? And it's usually Do You Know the Way.
I gave up in 2017, you guys.
I'm still stuck on, oh no, Thanos, he's got AirPods in.
Apparently, it's totally unrelated, but I heard today that Thunderbolts was a huge failure and lost millions of dollars, apparently.
Yeah, and I think for the exact reaction that me and my wife had, which was, apparently this one's actually really good. The first good one in like a decade. We should go see it.
Yeah.
Didn't go see it.
Yep. It
We
was,
were
it
like,
was
we're
great. Great movie.
We're not going to go spend $40 at the cinemas to watch a movie that'll be out on streaming very quickly.
Well, we're still waiting for that, but yeah.
We're still waiting for that. But no, it's I heard it was good. I wanted to go see it because all of my favorite Marvel stuff has had Bucky in it. Winter Soldier, Civil War.
Have you seen Terminator 2?
I have not. I haven't seen any of the Terminator movies.
Okay. Then you won't appreciate this one. There's a moment in the movie that's like just straight up with Bucky, and it made me happy.
I'm glad.
I don't fucking care, dude. No.
I was being nice. I had no ulterior motives with that.
No, I'm kidding. I just, in my head, I'm like, man, this is the worst small talk opener. No. What are we working on the channel, Chester?
We're working
what do we got
on
cooking?
We have cooking a few things. So a few new inquiries coming up on the bend. I have a video on kind of Nickelodeon's crowning achievement, which is All Grown Up. So the biggest special they've ever had in all time. Highest viewership, all that.
They peaked with All Grown Up.
They literally did, and then they never bring it up. It's like a secret that they're ashamed of, the fact that it wasn't SpongeBob that was their highest achievement of all time. And I find that very funny. I think we should talk about that because they're obviously embarrassed.
I don't know for sure. I always liked All Grown Up, but I feel like I've heard it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of Nickelodeon, where they look back on it and regret doing it or something. That's just what I've heard. I don't know if that's
so.
True.
That was, just to go into it a little bit. So that was the perspective for a while. So Nickelodeon has had, half what I talk about is, in my mind, and what becomes quite clear the longer you go through it, Nickelodeon and Rugrats really mirror each other. So the rise and fall of Rugrats mirrors a lot of ways the rise and fall of Nickelodeon during its kind of peak era. The sudden kind of the petering off of Rugrats, and then the sudden cancellation of Rugrats All Grown Up was a real indication of their treatment towards their products,
right?
And also towards their voice actors. And then in 2021, just this immediate, poorly thought out, poorly worked out reboot with half the voice cast because they don't respect their casts at all. And then the immediate cancellation of that before it's able to find its legs or anything like that. It's like the way Nickelodeon treats Rugrats is very much a symbol of Nickelodeon's current state. And it's kind of where it's at. What's interesting is, it was actually perceived really positively. People really liked it, and it was quite inventive because Rugrats was starting to go on a bit of a downturn. So Rugrats was starting to have a lot of the kind of conversations that we think are really modern, which is like, oh, it's fallen off, dude. They should have cancelled it when it was at its peak, and like all those conversations are happening there. I looked at a bunch of reviews from the year that it was released, and most of them were just hating on the fact that Kimmy was in the show. So I don't know, there's some questionable things about that. But most people were just hating the fact that they've added a new character and they're doing this different style, and then immediately complaining that they're not doing anything new or different. And I was like, you can't have both of those comments at the same time. And then wishing that it had been cancelled. That was the far minority. It would probably be about 7 or 8 out of 10 was the consistent perception. Then, in the early 2010s, around that time, the voice actress of Tommy came out and in an interview said in very nice terms that she thought Rugrats was always a more functioning show in its concept than All Grown Up. The All Grown Up didn't quite work as well. And a lot of that was because a lot of the criticism of the show was Tommy, who's meant to be the leader of the group, was often a bit childish and often didn't behave as people would imagine Tommy would. He behaved like a 10-year-old and would have hissy fits and all this type of stuff.
Like every other teenager, I feel.
So for me, it was never something I ever thought about, because for me there was never any separation between All Grown Up and and Rugrats. I watched them all at the same time.
Right. I did too.
So that was that comment was then taken by the kind of fandom that didn't like the treatment that the shows had received and piled on all this hatred onto All Grown Up. That was the kind of consensus that then took us through the next decade or so. Now, about 2 years ago, we had the voice actress of Tommy and of Dill both come out saying that they would absolutely love to do All Grown Up again and for it to be rebooted, and they loved it and would really like for it to come back.
Do All Grown Up the adult years? I don't know. That
So I think it will evolve again now because of that.
Right.
Because we were just attaching on to Peter Daly's comments and being like, see, this is why it's bad. This is why it's bad. The voice actors hated it. It was obviously terrible. And then I was like, no, they were just explaining preference. And of course they're going to have a lot of love for Rugrats because it's what made them. And maybe not so much for the show that in some ways could be blamed for getting the other one cancelled. But give it time, both are still looked upon favourably by the voice actors. So, yeah, there's a lot of that type of stuff.
I don't remember how exactly I was going to say, I don't remember how exactly that started. that whole part started, but that's actually good to know because I've always wondered about that. But I am working on some stuff. You're also working on another video about a game related to your other video. I worked on that I worked on my segment for that, and I'm almost done reworking the script for what I'm doing, and I'll probably record some of it tonight. So, I hope it does well. I think it's pretty interesting.
Well, you sent me a very creepy thumbnail. That I thought was very good. I thought that was very early, like early YouTube. Oh my god, guys! I found this .exe file.
So literally, like, that's kind of why I did it that way, is because there's a point in the video where, so there's two different things. So in this video, I'm going to be covering screenshots of the original tech demo for Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, and then also the original pitch document for Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. I'm kind of stitching those two together and making them their own video, separate from the documentary. And the tech demo it gives me creepypasta.exe vibes, so that was partially why I did that. That Patrick, there's an even more disturbing model of Patrick in the actual tech demo. That was just a model they made later. They really could not get Patrick's model right.
No.
As you will see later. It took them a long time to even get something remotely good. And then there's a really weird line in the pitch document that I don't understand, and I don't want to say it because it's a spoiler, but
some incantation.
Hamburger, cheeseburger. I think it's in what I sent you, because I sent you all the stuff to read. So you'll see it when you go through that. There's just this mention of a certain character that has nothing to do with SpongeBob, and I decided I'm gonna make the thumbnail all creepy because it's clickbaity, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah,
we're both we're working on some cool stuff.
We out here cooking, we out here like Gordon Ramsay and the other one, something white. What's his name? Not Porco Rosso. That's
Walter White.
We out here like Walter White.
We're cooking like Walter White. We're out here making meth.
Gordon, we need to cook. Gordon. Welcome everyone to Comments from the Week, our favorite segment from the channel. Can I just say I love the fact that we have been able to gather together a slightly older audience for this channel, because it's so much fun getting shitty little annoying comments.
And then say shitty.
And I respond to them, and I get a bunch of likes on the shitty response that I do as well. I'm just like, everyone else understands my annoyance here.
The last time we did this was an episode where it ended up being nothing about Nickelodeon, and we just read comments and talked about.
That's true. I'm going to keep an eye on the timer. We've got 10 minutes.
Well, first of all, let me even pull this up because I have to sort it by studio is stupid. That's what I've learned. Okay.
Studio is very stupid. A comment from Mr. Jeppy 3 days ago. Nobody expects the Bikini Bottom Inquisition. No, they don't. That's why we're leaning into it. Renaming the channel.
He apparently he messaged me later. He was like, I made that comment before you said that, because he just heard you talk. He heard your joke about the Bikini Bottom Inquisition and immediately thought of that from Monty Python. And I already said the joke, but he's like, oh, I gotta type this down.
It's almost like you guys were raised together or something.
Yeah, almost. Well, I never watched that movie.
You weren't allowed Monty Python?
He watched it. No, I just never. I think I have a VHS copy of it. I've just never sat down and watched it. So
I watched it a little bit, and I was just like, damn, dude, this is weird. I'm going back to SpongeBob.
I don't like these old British men. I don't understand these jokes. That's not a flesh wound. His arms are chopped off. Quote, comment by I Whack Mango? Question.
I love I Whack Mango. My favorite. I don't know who that is.
I can't quite make out what it says, but love the intro. Very DJ Peach Cobbler style, and this is in reference to the Truth or Square video.
I'm wondering if it's actually a real person. DJ.
I looked it up. Yes, it is. I looked it up. Yes, it is. And yeah, I would say it is a similar style of humor. But here's the thing: you can't just attribute. humor to one person because we've never seen that person in our life. We're just. And then there was that one guy. Where is that one guy who said, "Okay, here we go. Hold on." I think there was another comment too. There was because I saw another guy who responded. I'll find it.
Someone said Lona08098 replied, say, didn't the quality of Danny Phantom also start going downhill once season 3 dropped? Brother or sister or whatever. I ain't seen any of Danny Phantom. I don't know who that person is. All right, they come to my door. I don't know them. All right, I turn them away. SpongeBob comes to my door. I know them. Timmy Turner, I'm not letting them in, but I know them. Danny Phantom, I'm not your guy. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna look at my phone because it's easier for me to find.
I was a teenage robot. I'm not your guy. All right, not me.
My life as a teenage robot. You swine. No.
Exactly. I'm not your guy.
Ricky Gervais. Still can't get over that one.
All he does is get up at the Oscars and do the exact same. We need to be better. We need stop doing all your.
Here's the difference between you and me. I have never once watched the Oscars in my life. So
well, good for you, I suppose. But like, the rest of us are just sad.
They deleted. There was one that was like mean. Not the one that we just looked at earlier, but.
There's been a few people that have accused me of being internet historian, which I think is very funny because we're both just Australian.
I think that was one of
no one has yet accused me of the channel that I have 100% ripped off, and that's because I say slightly less racial slurs than him. He's very intense, so he's so intense that I've shown him to a few people, and everyone's like,
"The video Sorry, I zoned out. Are we talking about the video historian? I know. I've heard the name. I don't know.
No. I've ripped up a different channel that is very intense, and so intense that I can't show him to people.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
So I'm kind of like just trying to tone down that same level of comedy because it's what I find really funny.
You're a degenerate.
He goes very, very racial with it. It's a bit different. Even I do.
Nematodes are people too. Oh, those nematodes.
A few people. So Rubinstein 98 commented, absolutely shocked to hear everything in a niche documentary about SpongeBob, but for all the right reasons. I'm so glad. Like 3 people have realized that, like the band that I used at the end, they're my favorite band. I got to go see them live for my birthday last year, and I was like, oh.
I never heard of them before, but I just saw that they were. Because of that, the video was copyright claims. So
yeah, we're not earning any money, but they're keeping it all. But what was funny was seeing them live, and then they were co-touring with another band, and everything's my favorite band, and the other band was way
was
better.
The other
band? Some they're called the Vaccines.
Vaccines.
Yeah. Some bands just have a better stage presence.
We are the COVID-19. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everything is very clearly like they're just some British nerds. They've got their xylophones. They're just doing their thing. And then these guys come out and they're pointing. They're wearing sunglasses. You can almost kind of hear them over all the music.
Hold on. Technical difficulties. I should have expected this. I should have been more prepared. So I live. I mean, it's a couple miles away, I would say, but I live close enough to a high school.
Mm-hmm.
And during the summer months here, where school's out, I don't know, they have like a band or something, like band practice. And for the last 2 hours, I've just heard nonstop drum lines out in the distance, and I can hear it from in here, so I hope it's not picking up on the microphone, but it is driving me insane.
It's just some low-level bass line just building. It's like
it's like
something's coming.
I'm going to
commit Sudoku. Basement Dweller _ commented, "Did it though?" For this one SpongeBob episode, changed Nickelodeon forever. Yes, motherfucker, watch the video. You're a basement dweller. You've got the time.
I saw that one. Did it though?
Did it though? Shut the fuck up. At least say something slightly funny that I can have I can have an aneurysm.
Oh, here it
about.
is. Okay, so this person said that I really like. Okay, so their name is. I'm gonna call them out by name. Lord Tachanka 903. Oh, you did respond. Okay. I really like what you're doing, but please just be yourself, man. It felt like towards the beginning of the video, you were trying to be the internet historian, and it was a bit off-putting at first. But the longer the video goes on, you let the impression slide, and you're actually more charismatic when you just act naturally like yourself. Good job with the video, and good luck with your future content. So it's like, I thought that was
Backhander, just like
stupid.
slap, and then we're like, good luck.
You're not being yourself. You're putting up a facade. That was kind of the whole reason I thought of that one, is because it's like you are just assuming that's it's like everyone just assumes everyone's trying to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah, I've been doing this for like 8 years at this point. Like, I have my own style and my own presentation, which definitely is a presentation thing. All I'm like, I am copying styles of just presentation of information more, of like the actual video editing type of thing, and doing the breaking up with memes to try and keep entertainment. My actual presentation itself is just the way I've been doing things for forever. Documentaries on YouTube, there are the big heavy hitters, and everyone just thinks you're kind of ripping off them. And I was like, well, how else do I explain how else do I explain a boardroom setting where this conversation, like this kind of tone setting conversation happens without using kind of like cutouts of them? Is it just a picture of me am I just talking to camera?
Right.
Like, how do that's not just internet historian. That's just like, how do I get across
There's
the
critiques
setting
for everything. It's like I've heard all the people who are like, oh, they use too much stock footage. They don't edit well enough. They just use Banjo-Kazooie music in the background. Like, it just, you're never gonna please everyone, unfortunately. Just like this guy who says, holy shit, this video was so boring. Your presentation is uninteresting and made me sleepy.
At least it wasn't. British people make me so sleepy. Like some earlier ones we've gotten.
That's right. That's basically. Well, he's like, why does the sound of a British man put me to sleep? Like, he meant it in a good way, but
I didn't take it in a good way.
Well, you're not British, first of all.
Makes me upset.
I've heard people tell me that my voice is very soothing and puts them to sleep as well. I don't know why I get that, because I wouldn't say so, but okay.
So what I've been doing for this new one, to try and make it a little bit less
unhinged.
No, that's it. Moving forward. So firstly, I'm moving out of Premiere Pro. Momentarily, I cannot do any more of this. Okay, I had a client in, so I've only gotten a little bit of work done on this because I've had the biggest week ever with clients. I've been like recording every other day, and I've had clients in here editing with them, going through their projects and stuff like that. We were editing for like 5 hours because Premiere Pro was operating at like a snail's pace the entire time.
Premiere Pro's like it chugs really bad, and that's why I still refuse to try to learn it, because I just Hit Film runs so much better and can do basically everything that I need it to.
Yeah, so I'm jumping over to DaVinci, most likely just as a little tester thing, because that's what I'm getting all of my creators to move on to. So, like all the people who work with me and want to do their own editing, I tell them to use DaVinci, so I'm trying to jump on there so that I can actually give them advice on stuff. But then I'm moving over to all the new Affinity editing programs and all that. But what I'm trying to do is I've got like these types of... Jesus Christ, that's loud. Did that come through for you?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Let me... How do I mute... Oh, okay. Damn, I'm loud.
No, you would have known. I would have been...
Why am I still coming through? Oh, it's because I need to mute this one.
Well, look at that.
So I'm
I'm
trying to do more things of me.
What the fuck?
This is the Inquisition segment.
Okay.
I'm trying to do less of just like the actual talking.
Dang it! I'm gonna make a FNAF joke as well.
And my favorite moment. Making my
I
own
can't
memes
hear
now. But yeah, I'm trying to do also segments of me just actually talking in it, so it's not just heaps of the cutaway things.
On my channel, I've only ever had footage like B-roll playing. I've never really shown my face. Like there was a time where I experimented with being a PNG YouTuber, like for one video, and I was like, this is too much work, and then I redrew the character anyways. But I've been trying to decide if I want to appear on camera for this one or not. I'm gonna experiment with it now that I have the better camera setup. But
Yeah, I mean, we've never really discussed it, but there was the choice to appear on camera or not on camera was never really a decision that I ever put any weight into, realistically, because I started off doing films and stuff like that where I was just an actor in them. So, you know, coming from the mindset of being an actor, it's like, well, of course I have to be on screen for this. There was never really anything around it. And the only times I've ever done the little PNG thing, which I've always had, had things of those made for me, which I've always loved, was just for if I didn't want to get my camera out to film myself. I'd use that type of stuff. But it's definitely a choice, and is there a reason why you've erred further away from it?
So we've talked about like when I tried out for that Switch Force channel, spin-off channel that they were doing. The requirement was you had to appear on camera. I learned quickly that I did not enjoy appearing on camera. With the way that my eyes are with the nystagmus, it's hard to look at a camera and not look like a crazy person. And I'm very self-conscious about my own appearance. So I've gotten better about it, especially since we've started doing this week to week. I have to appear on camera each week, and so that's why I'm thinking about maybe experimenting with it. Probably still not on my main channel. I don't know. I've thought about it, but the main thing is just I feel like I don't look quite right, and it's a lot more work because I can't just read straight off the script. I have to like kind of quickly memorize what I want to say and then look at the camera and say it, and it's a pain.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing, yeah, because you can just read off the thing. Like, what I do is I have the video going, and I have the script there, and I read, and as soon as I get to a part where, like, I understand what's kind of happening next, and my memory clicks in, so I know the next sentence, I then look to camera and read the rest of that directly to camera, so that I can kind of pick and choose to cut between those. But my wife, like, we'll be watching a YouTube video where it'll just be audio only, and anytime it shows the person who's talking, she's like, I didn't need that. Like...
Oh.
I don't need to know what you look like. I don't need to. I'm here to learn, because for her it's usually history stuff. It's like I do not care about you as a presenter.
I really don't want to see your ugly face.
Well, she doesn't say that for the handsome people. I'm just
right, of course. But that's why she's okay with you appearing on camera, because she's married to you. So
she doesn't watch anything I make. What are you talking about? No one watches. BJ says he watches. BJ watches, but BJ's very good. He's very supportive. No one else watches anything. I post episodes of this onto the Discord that has people that pay to be like to follow the stuff that we do, and none of them watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I usually share week to week on my channel on the community tab. I'm like, this week's episode is this, and it's like it gets a couple likes, but it's probably the people who are already watching it week to week anyways. So
have you posted your new podcast episode?
Not yet.
Not yet?
The week has gotten away from me. I've told you throughout the week, because I need to record that audio for you. This week's been rough. It was the first week of a new school term, and my job is at a community college.
That's right, yes.
So it was a lot, and I haven't had any energy. I'm also on weight loss medication, and I started a higher dose, and it zaps my energy. So yeah.
Well, term starts to be the crazy thing of all these teenagers coming in and be like, how do I get to engineer, like the engineering room?
There is a surprising. Usually
where's
it's
the
like
air conditioning room.
Yeah, usually it's full-grown adults. Usually it's like older people who maybe English isn't their first language, or just people who decided they're coming back to school. But this term, it's mostly high school graduates that like just got out of high school and they're running in. So they are just teenagers for the most part.
Yeah. Last little bit of news before we get into kind of the main episode. I have made an incredible discovery. So I have put the book that I was working on has gone into kind of the on the back burner for a little while.
Shredder? No,
it's gone on the back burner. I did the first 30 pages and I made the realization. So I've done a lot of this type of stuff before. I did audio dramas before, and I'm trying to learn from my lesson. I did all of those out of order. So one was set in the 70s that was like the prequel to it all. There was another one that I did in like the 90s. Then there was like the main show. And then there was like also it became really convoluted on like what order stuff was in. So I'm trying to stick to like an actual timeline order of when I'm writing everything. So I've swapped to a book that is set earlier in the timeline of that I've been meaning to do for quite a while. And I have done up to chapter 2 in that. I've done 15 pages on that one. I did that 2 days ago. But I have discovered something. So I don't know what your preference and thinking is around AI and a lot of that type of stuff, but Pinterest is now nearly entirely useless for me as a resource to find images and cool stuff for book inspiration because it is 90% AI now. I do so much filtering of just trying to find anything that's made by a person. And it irritates me because I find something that's really cool and I check in the comments and very quickly work out that it's AI. But yeah. So there's been a bunch of that, but I've been finding a few artists. I've been finding a few images. I'm like, I would really love to work with this artist to get this cover made for my next book. And I discovered there is such a thing as there are websites made for artists for reverse image searching. Because Google's stuff is terrible. It just looks at it like it's a product. And it will find you, oh, this was reposted on Reddit. Oh, this was reposted on here. I was like, that doesn't help me. I need to find the original location. So there are artist-made pages. This one's called Artist Ninja, that helps reverse image search. And it gives me, like, this was posted originally on 7 different places. The image itself appears on these 15 websites, and then similar images have been posted on 32 other sites. And I was like, it is so helpful to find artists. So I'm finally able to find these artists that I've been hunting down for ages because none of them put their names on the works. Is that like an artist faux pas now that you don't sign your works, your digital works or something?
I do art, obviously. I don't really do it publicly very much. I use it mostly for my YouTube and stuff. But when I've done just like pieces where I've thought about like going to a con and trying to sell work, but I typically don't write my name on it just because I don't really think about it, I guess. I don't know. And I think maybe some people just don't feel like they're professional enough to sign their work, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah. I don't know either, but it let me just say, it has made my life so much harder. And I'm not someone that would ever use AI for this type of stuff to get something made or anything like that. But I'm just like, it is so damn hard to find these artists.
Right. I've kind of dabbled in Fiverr, but as far as getting art, Fiverr is not the best place to go. So that
it
is
really isn't. It's crazy. So expensive, and then the actual stuff is just like
it's hard to find what you're looking for. Not even just the price, but like I've had luck on Fiverr with like music and other smaller things, but with art has been a losing battle for me. I've spent some time trying to find an artist for this documentary, and now I've like I just didn't find what I was looking for, and I don't know if I still want to do the art part or not. But maybe we should talk about that later when we're because that sounds interesting. Maybe we should talk about that later.
I'll show you some of the artists I was able to find because it's they're so cool and they're so fantastic, and they're like the tricky things. You then go onto their Twitter and they've got like 100,000 followers or 70,000 followers, I'm like, I think they're going to see my email. Like, I'll pay them. I'll pay them whatever they want. But like, I don't think they're even going to see my email. Also, different languages as well. They're all Japanese. So it's like, are they going to see my email? Are they going to translate it? And is it going to make sense when it's translated? Or are they going to think I'm a scam? Type of thing.
You know my
So I'm like, I'll pay you.
that.
Please, let me pay you. Please. I'm begging you. Anyway.
You need to send me... How do I get your book, Chester?
Yeah, well, my first book is on its second draft. It's about 800 pages, so it's huge. So it's a real slog, and I've been sending it to agents and getting mostly no's because it's in a really weird place, because it's horror, it's also comedy and adventure and that type of stuff, and it's young characters, but they're smoking and they're swearing up a storm because it's set in England. Like they're teenagers in England. They swear like anything. So it's not young adult. It's adult stuff, but it like if you see something like this and you see young characters in it, you immediately jump to that. Oh, it's like Stranger Things. Oh, it's all this bullshit. It's like no. So it's struggling to find a path because of that.
Okay. I thought maybe you'd self-published or something at some point.
I am going to self-publish that one. I was originally going to put forward that idea as trying to get that published, but the margins are way better for self-publishing, and you're cutting yourself out of about 30% of the market by not being in bookstores, but you get triple the percentage per book, and I can do all the audiobook stuff. But so then the second book I've written is set about 40 years before that. And it's a really short one. It's about 200 pages. So I'll send that one to you. It's about to enter its final draft. I'm about to do the audiobook and do the actual release for that one. So that's the first in the series. The main series is 10 books long, but I'm doing about 4 or 5 books that build up to the actual series.
All right.
Yeah, it's all good fun. Anyway,
so
SpongeBob.
Again, wow, another SpongeBob episode. Crazy. Who would have thought?
We've got time. It's only 40 minutes. We've got time. Guys.
No, yeah, I mean, a lot of that's going to be cut out, but so interesting. No, what were you going to say?
They're making another SpongeBob movie. Could you believe it?
I think we knew this was coming. I don't think I knew the title or any of the details about it at the time. It's called the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, The Search for SquarePants. I saw a tweet, a quote on Twitter, and I have not been able to find any citation for this quote. I have no idea if it's legitimate, if the director actually said this, but I sent it to Chester because I was like, that sounds interesting. I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a topic for the episode, but the more I looked into it, there's a little bit to discuss here. So
could I just quickly ask, who is the director?
The director is, let me pull up the article.
Derek Dryman?
That sounds right, but let me pull up the article to make sure. Don't want to talk out of my butt.
My room
Did I
is going,
close?
My room is rising up. It is becoming transcendent.
Hands raised like a gospel choir. I can't find... I think I closed the article like a freaking moron. Hold on, let me find it.
SMH.
Shake.
You want to talk about Lilo and Stitch instead then?
Don't get me started on Lilo and Stitch. I'm going to freaking have a conniption over that.
From the perspective of a man that's seen neither.
I was looking forward to that, and they... Like, I never look forward to Disney remakes or live-action remakes in general. I am not a fan. But I thought, I'm going to give Lilo and Stitch a chance. And then I heard all the shit they did with it, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. I absolutely not. I will not be... Okay, here we go. So...
An aneurysm.
Yeah. The director of the SpongeBob movie, the new one, is... It was on here... Where'd it go? It's produced by Paramount Pictures. It will be released. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Derek Dryman, who apparently. Do you know who that is?
No, I just pulled up a document with him, so I have information about him. We're prepared. We're professionals. We're professionals. We've got
I
stuff.
read something that he was heavily involved in the first 3 seasons of the show. Is that true?
I have so much information for us.
Okay. Well, I'll first read
Keep going.
the
Yeah, keep going.
quote that I read before we get into who he is. This is from a Twitter account called The Hollywood Handle, and again, I cannot find any more information about this or if it was actually said or not, but it says the SpongeBob movie The Search for SquarePants director says the film, quote, recaptures the spirit of the first season of the show, unquote. And then it also mentions that the film follows in the stylistic footsteps of The Mitchells versus the Machines and Spider-Verse. The first part is more interesting to me because I feel like the second part really applied to the last
It's also just saying
SpongeBob
words
movie in
about,
general.
here are these really popular animated movies.
that have a stop motion-y style to them. So I don't feel like that second half is interesting, but the idea that this movie recaptures the spirit of the first season.
We're going to have a whole segment where Tom Kenny doesn't talk, like in Reflower.
And then there's like urban legends that there's actually a version of the it was supposed to be talking, but the audio equipment broke that day. It's such a stupid.
To be fair, I wouldn't put it past Nickelodeon. There's a whole segment where I talk about in this the Rugrats All Grown Up special, where they released this big documentary about the behind the scenes of making of Rugrats, and they didn't have either Chucky or Dill's voice actor there, and everyone was like, "Whoa, why aren't they there? Are they upset Nickelodeon or this?" They filmed it on a day where they just weren't there recording. They didn't have Chucky. Because they didn't plan ahead for a day when she would be there. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Nickelodeon.
So if that's true, okay. And I read something that he, like I said, he apparently was very involved in the early seasons of the show.
I got some docs. I got some documents.
Okay.
So he has been involved in 275 episodes of SpongeBob from the beginning to now.
Okay.
He was also involved in SpongeBob SquarePants Presents the Tidal Zone, which I have no idea what that is. Is that a modern thing? Yeah, that's new. That's 2023.
Well, the Tidal Zone was the title of the comic.
It's a special they did in 2023.
Okay.
It's
and they
inspired
must
by
have-
the old comic.
Interesting.
Okay. He was involved in Sponge on the Run. He was involved in a reanimated collab, Billy Dilly's Super Danger Planet. He was involved in Sponge Out of Water. He went uncredited in that one, apparently. He was involved in a bunch of the video games. Truth or Square, Boating Bash, Squiggle Pants, Plankton's Robotic Revenge, Spongicus,
I don't know how I feel about that, but okay.
Atlantis SquarePantis, Creature from the Krusty Krab, Lights Camera Pants.
No.
The original movie. He was a developer in SpongeBob SquarePants movie as well. Bikini Bottom. He was involved in like all of the major games and Cat Dog.
How was he
and
involved?
Rocco's.
Though?
I'll pull it
Was
up.
he-
He was involved in 19 episodes of Cat Dog and 7 episodes of Rocco's Modern Life. Let me pull up. So let's just go with Bikini Bottom because that's the one people care about. He was a writer.
Interesting indeed.
Being a great writer does not mean much. Kung Fu Panda 2 he was involved with. Okay, yes, so sorry. All of those were writing positions for all the stuff that we talked about before. He also was involved in Hotel Transylvania. No, that's just an ad. Never mind. Sorry, that's just an ad.
Are you on IMDb? What are you on?
Yeah, they're swarming with ads. So he's got some writing backgrounds. That doesn't mean much for a director position, but that's all right.
So yeah, they had some kind of stage presentation like last week where they apparently multiple people involved in this movie took the stage and showed off. They showed off like 20 minutes of the movie apparently, and we know that it's going to be released in the U.S. on December 19th. There's a few different release dates for other regions. I haven't seen anything about Australia specifically.
Bastards.
Just use a VPN.
No, I want them to fly me out. I run the esteemed podcast.
Yeah, that's true. We want to be at the premiere. So it says he was. Ow, my leg is cramping. It says he was involved and on and off with the show for over 2 decades.
Is this stop motion animation or something?
I don't think it. Well, I think the idea it's supposed to look because that's what Spider-Verse and Mitchell's versus the Machines was, and I feel like Sponge on the Run was also kind of that style, like where it looks kind of
very tangible
stop
CGI.
motion-y. Okay, so when he took the stage, he said it's like coming home, and then it's like coming home. Before going on to talk through the artwork, whoever wrote this article, they phrase things weird. It says before going on to talk through the artwork for the spooky underwater setting. So if you don't know what this movie is about, do you know anything about this, Chester?
I can get a general idea just off the images that are here.
Okay. So heavily involved with the Flying Dutchman.
Yes.
It's kind of going back through the whole idea of SpongeBob's just a kid. It sounds like, because it says that the footage shows the first act. It sets the scene. It says that after he reaches the height of 36 clams, he is allowed into the Big People's Fairground Park. Again, whoever wrote this article, I don't know. So basically, he's tall enough to ride the big rides at the carnival, apparently. And when he's at the carnival, he bumps into Mr. Krabs, who tells him that there's more to being a grown-up than height, and then regales him with a tale of his adventures at sea. It says that SpongeBob comes up with the idea of getting his swashbuckler certificate, but in the process of doing so, somehow unwittingly summons the spirit of the Flying Dutchman. He probably opens a box and then finds another box, and then finds another box, and then finds a bottle, and then rubs the bottle, and the Flying Dutchman comes out. That's probably what happens.
Or gets a sock.
And what I find the most interesting is the Flying Dutchman is not the original voice actor of the Flying Dutchman. For the first time ever, it is voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, the Joker himself. Which
Why?
is interesting. I don't know. I don't know much. I assume the voice actor's still alive. I think he was getting up there in age, but
Yeah, his name is Brian Doyle Murray. He was in The Middle, shows like that. He's still going. He's 79 years old.
did you know The Middle is about Indiana?
Yeah,
the
because they
state that I
say
live in.
Indiana. Oh, really?
That's where I live. I live in the middle.
My mental image of your entire life has now shifted to you being Brick.
It's not. It's not entirely inaccurate. My family was very much like the Middle family growing up, but
Is Frugal Kruger an actual thing?
there's like stores like that. Yeah,
For the lollies glued together and the slightly off meat.
there's stores like it's probably like Kroger or Aldi or whatever. But
Hell yeah.
anyways, Mark Hamill as the
Yeah.
Flying Dutchman. How do you feel about that, Chester?
Pisses me the hell off. Oh, but going back to the first few seasons, just not the people that made it, that made that a thing. And like I can instantly tell, like Mark Hamill will sound 90% like Flying Dutchman.
Right,
He will just do the.
I can picture it, and it sound like I'm not against it necessarily. Like, I can see it. It's just odd that they are choosing to recast the role.
Yeah, it will sound 90% the same, and it'll cost them an extra $1 to $2 million.
But they'll get that Star Wars money, right?
Star Wars hasn't gotten money in years. So yeah, it pisses me off. I don't like it.
It's interesting, and it sounds like the whole movie is very like Dutchman related. It's Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, the movie. No.
Like, it would be the same. I would be just as offended if they came out and be like, oh, it's because he's so much younger, we're actually going to have him voiced by Ethan Slater. So the guy from the SpongeBob musical, because he's got a younger sounding voice. As like,
my theory is that they just want star power because along with this whole like stage presentation where they showed off footage from the movie, revealed more details, talked about the release date, they also revealed a bunch of, I wouldn't say big name actors, but like not SpongeBob stars that are going to be in the movie. Someone named Regina Hall, someone named Sherry Cola, like, okay, interesting name. Arturo Castro, who is apparently in the Tron Ares movie that's coming out this year.
yeah, can I just say Sherry Cola? What a dope fucking name, dude.
George Lopez is probably the biggest name that I see on here. So I don't know who he's playing, but George Lopez is in here. And then apparently Ice Spice is also going to be a character on here and is going to perform an original song in the movie.
Oh, that would definitely be the height of their career.
That was the
same with Pink.
Ice. Exactly. It feels very much that energy, like the Pink thing, bringing on Ice Spice to do a song.
Who is Ice Spice? Are they one of the Spice Girls?
She's a rapper. She's pretty popular here, at least. I don't know. I don't know much about her, but I know I've seen like footage of her hanging out with like Taylor Swift and other big song people. I don't know anything about her, but I know.
She's not one of the Spice Girls.
No.
Not
that I know of, anyways.
She was born. She's a year older than me. Wow. Well, a year and a bit older.
Yeah, it says she will also contribute a song to the movie. So, people were not. That was the big news this week as far as like Ice Spice being in it. That's what everyone's talking about, and people are not happy about it because they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be normie slop." Is basically the sentiment that I've seen. They're like, oh, they're saying it's going to be like the first season, but then they're including Ice Spice in the show.
Guys, shut the fuck up. We are SpongeBob fans. We are the slop guzzlers. We are the window lickers. Shut up. We've got no legs to stand on. Also, apparently, I've just checked. Like half of Derek Dryman's credentials are fake ones that people have put up, like the SpongeBob SquarePants movie rehydrated.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Chucked him on there.
That's why when you said that he was, I don't know about that because IMDb is so questionable. But
yeah,
he's clearly involved in the show at the very least. We know that much. It's
interesting. So you haven't actually been. We go through. Nickelodeon comes up with a new piece of news about weekly, just in time for each of our new shows. Yeah. I'm going to complain about it so much, and then they're going to stop for like 6 months. And I'll just be like, please, give me, please. I'll lick any window you ask me to. Just give me some more Nickelodeon news. You haven't been particularly interested or excited about any of the stuff we've really talked about. What is your opinion on this new movie? Are you interested? Are you excited? Are you going to cop it day one? Are you going to the cinema? If it releases cinema,
if it did release in the theater, I would go. I'm interested. I especially because one other thing I wanted to address about this is it sounds like and the files that I looked through, the forbidden files that I looked through for the upcoming SpongeBob game, kind of implied the game was meant to tie in with a movie.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
now hearing these details about this movie and knowing the details about the game, obviously it's not one-to-one. It's not a game based on the movie, but the plots both heavily rely on the Flying Dutchman and all that. So it clearly, now I at least know we are probably getting that game in December, maybe November.
No, definitely agree.
So
which could be fantastic. because the last games have suffered a great deal of not having something to really tie in. I think Rehydrated was really helped out by the fact that the third SpongeBob movie was coming out at the same time.
Right, they tried to line that up, and I think they've kind of tried to line up other ones in the past, but the release, it's behind the scenes stuff didn't work out or something.
Everything getting leaked as well just takes the wind out of all these SpongeBob movies like immediately, and so it's like there's nothing there to cross promote if it's already been on Twitter for 2 years.
Right. Well, my hope would be, I mean, if this one ends up being a Netflix movie, maybe it will leak again, but I don't know. I feel like they're making a big deal about this movie. I've looked. I didn't see specifically if it was going to be a Netflix movie or if it was going to theaters. I need to look more into that. But
getting Mark Hamill isn't streaming movie actions.
That's what I would think. That the stars and everything. This feels like it should be a theatrical release. If it's not, I think that's a missed opportunity. I am interested. If it does release in theaters, I will go. I like the idea of it being kind of centered around spooky stuff and the Flying Dutchman and all that stuff. I can't say I'm terribly optimistic because I know you really like the Plankton movie. I haven't gone back and finished it. I did not like the Sandy movie. I only watched half of it. And I was like, I don't like this. And I just turned it off.
I hated the third SpongeBob movie.
I did not like that one as well. It looked nice, but it felt like it was retreading a lot of old ground.
But also, we got to have a little think here with like Netflix stuff. Often movie deals are 3-picture deals type of things. So we've had the 3 SpongeBob movies. We've had on Netflix. At least.
Did the third one release on Netflix? I can't even remember.
Third movie released on Netflix, no cinema at all. Same Bikini Bottom and Plankton movie have also released on Netflix. At least in Australia, no theatrical release for the third
there was
movie.
never any theatrical release for those 3 either here. I don't think anywhere in the world.
Okay. So, it could have been a 5-movie deal or a 4-movie deal. You usually hear these things being a 3-movie deal. And it being like a 5-year project, 3-movie deal type of thing.
I don't remember. In my mind, the third movie was a Paramount Plus release. I could be wrong, but...
Really? SpongeBob and Netflix deal. In 2020, Netflix acquired the international distribution rights to the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run, excluding the United States, Canada, and China, as that movie was released on Netflix on November 20. Yeah, so that might have had a different release thing in America. Definitely Netflix here.
Okay, that explains it. That's the thing, is we live in different places, so things get confusing sometimes when we talk about things. But
yeah, and this deal is part of a larger multi-year output deal between Netflix and Nickelodeon, which includes producing original animated films and series for kids and families. The deal is reportedly worth $200 million. That doesn't give me a time frame for the deal. These things have contracts.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's not public information, but
they're saying it's a multi-year deal, and that was in 2019. So a lot of that stuff is 5 years. All those deals are 5-year deals.
I also wonder if Sponge on the Run was supposed to be a theatrical release, but then the pandemic screwed everything over. And
it's definitely got a way higher budget than those other 2 ones.
Right. That's what with stars like that, and then, I mean, the other ones had, like, Keanu Reeves, I guess, and stuff like that, but...
Did they?
The Sponge on the Run had Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. These other ones barely had any, celebrity appearance stuff.
There was some live action stuff. I don't remember who all was involved in that, but
Sponge on the Run, I think at most maybe would have like some TikTok influence, because there's Plankton the movie, because there's a bit where they go on land and there's like a beach and there's a bunch of people with like their phones out, like, whoa, this is crazy, dude, and like, you're someone, and I hate you for that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No more battery.
Uh-oh. We almost made it. Hold on.
We almost made it.
Woo! Hold on. How do I switch my camera?
Hell? Is that behind your computer or something?
It's like the attached webcam to my camera, or to my computer. How do I switch?
The fabled PC built-in webcam. It's just on the motherboard.
It's not letting me. change. Hold on.
Hey guys, Chester here. I'm always recording. Dear, my room is so bright. It's heavenly. It's bussin'. For real. Oh yes, Matt Berry was in the third SpongeBob movie, and Danny Trejo, and Snoop Dogg, and Reggie Watts, and Tiffany had. Ugh, that's so bad. Tim Hill, Bill Fabergucker, L'Oreal. Who are these people? They're no ones. I don't want them here. I want the Fonz. Someone I know, someone I understand.
That was stupid. I'll be more prepared next time.
Right.
Hopefully that didn't screw up all the footage, but
That will be interesting. We'll work it out. What part of your room has the wooden wallboards?
what do you mean?
Your background.
Yeah.
Is that actually part of the room, or is that like a drop down?
We talked about this earlier. Yeah, it's literally paper.
No, we started the conversation and very quickly moved on to.
I thought I explained it.
I got a new camera.
Well, that was what I was.
With my old
Well, I
camera.
said I got a new camera, but I was saying that I had butcher paper, and so I decided to make it look more professional by adding.
Wait, so that's butcher paper,
yeah, that's literally. This is just paper that you'd put on a bulletin board.
and it looks like wood. What?
Yeah, you can get like different designs. And I got the wood stuff because I thought it would be good for photos back when I was taking photography classes. But
Yeah, mean, damn. Anyway, I was just saying that I went on to like the movie list stuff, and they've got the Paw Patrol Dino movie, and I was like, SpongeBob has yet to jump the shark to the degree where they do a dinosaur themed movie. They have none yet. They're not on that ice age.
have they ever had? I mean, they did BC, but I don't know that they've ever had dinosaurs in SpongeBob.
No. They could have they missed the Megalodon train.
They missed the Sharknado train.
They missed the Sharknado time. Cast of No Time to Spy? What the hell? Man, Nickelodeon movies are cringe. I'm going to say it. I'm coming out as the premier SpongeBob YouTuber. I'm just going to say it. Nickelodeon is cringe. I'm at my limit with them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for coming along. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mr. Who Has Normal?
Stop releasing news about Nickelodeon-related projects.
Stop bullying.
I don't care if we're living in a new golden age of not really. But I'm intrigued by this movie. It has some weird stuff going for it. Truthfully, at the end of the day, I don't care that much. I'm more interested in.
It's true. It's true. I'm honestly most interested in just being like, what are the metrics here? What's the viewership numbers? What type of income are we getting? I feel like I'm a stocker. I feel like I own stock in this business.
There's a reason I'm a documentary channel. I like going back, and I can't. I'm stuck in the past.
1 second. I think my wife might be locked out.
Guys, he's crazy. He doesn't have a wife. Guys, that's not his wife. That is the woman he kidnapped. She has Stockholm syndrome. Send help.
You stop asking for help.
No,
It's not coming.
What? Did you didn't hear anything? I don't know what you're talking about.
Take those lightsabers off your glasses.
Okay.
That's so cool. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming along for this episode. Next episode, do we want to do like a hard line in the sand, like we will do this for next
This
episode?
is what we're. I don't know. Yes. First of all. But
How
first
about-
of all.
ooh.
But second of all.
Sorry, yeah.
What are we putting the hard line down on?
Well, I was thinking we could do a community vote.
Oh. Okay. Are you
We've
still
got
waiting?
people that will actually vote on this stuff now.
That's true. Are you still waiting on that book for that one episode, or are you just waiting to do the other video? Okay, because we could do that topic after you release the video you're doing.
That could be a good idea. Maybe we'll do that next week so that can be in the back credit things for that episode. Just an idea. I brought this up in the actual episode. This has the highest quality. We'll just do a quick little thing. This has the highest quality images of any of the All Grown Up characters because nothing of that show has ever been in HD. So if I scanned this, these would be the highest quality like PNGs, JPEGs I could get. I could probably turn these into vector files. They're so high quality. They're fantastic.
Need
Actually,
a
like, really good
AI
prints.
upscaler.
Yeah. Chuck it on Pinterest. AI upscalers. But yeah, okay, we'll do a. We'll most likely do that one next, but we'll kind of go through some of the episodes that we're more keen to do, and we'll do a community post. So just jump over if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, also jump onto YouTube. I think we can actually do votes on Spotify, but we'll see. Jump onto the YouTube channel, head over to the community tab, and vote for what you'd like us to chat about next episode. We've got a handful of different kind of topics, from seasons of shows to some more background stuff to video games. It could actually be kind of fun to do a video game. I really want us to do a stream. I really want us to find a time.
We need to talk
especially
about
with you being so busy to do a stream, because I have worked out how we can do the you also having control of like my computer or something like that. So it is definitely doable.
I mean,
Like, we
weekends
just
are
hand over
always
control.
better. I mean, we'll figure it out.
Probably next week for me, because I've got another huge week for clients. But
You don't have
you
clients. You don't have a job.
I'm making it all up.
You're a fraud.
All I do is sit at home
You
and
boughted
not watch
all
Danny
of these
Phantom.
new subscribers. You paid for this viewership.
I have access to the back end. I know.
This channel is a failure, and this is my official resignation.
I'd be upset if it wasn't so. If that fresh cut wasn't so good.